Hello everyone. Today I wanted to do a topic on autistic rumination. By definition, autistic rumination, it involves a situation where you are stuck in a thought loop and you essentially dwell on like negative experiences, negative thoughts, or negative emotions. I'm going to give some scenarios from like my personal experience. And these are from both childhood and adulthood. So the thing is, like, when you get caught up in autistic rumination and you get into a thought loop. So I will take you back to 2008. So I lost my mother in November of 2008. And so at that point in time, I still hadn't had my like diagnosis yet. So making sense of everything in that particular point in time was somewhat hard for me. But that was my first experience with like autistic rumination because like right after my mom passed away, like there was so many different things that like flooded my head in terms of like what could have been done differently. Like how like could have been helped, like if like doctors would have did this, or she would have went to this appointment, um or she would have been on like certain medications. Like there were so many different things that like flooded my head in terms of like saving my, because my mom actually passed away from pulmonary embolism, but there were so many different things that like came to my head in terms of they would have been like life-saving measures. And even after like sitting down like with the coroner and sitting down with like other medical personnel, because my one of my family members was there and worked in the ER the night that she had passed, informed me that they did everything that they could do. When you're in a like when you're stuck in that loop, you truly believe that like not every angle has been explored and that there's more that can be done. Another situation was me like in my relationship, like going into that, like one thing that I would question, like so I had highlighted like some of the behaviors that I was subjected to, like in the relationship. I was called names such as stupid motherfucker. I was called a bitch. I was called nuisance. I was hit multiple times. I was kicked. After all those behaviors, like I would still like find myself like having conversations with my sister because I would get stuck in these thought loops of like why, like, and just like try to make sense of like each one of the behaviors or the patterns, and it would just happen like over and over and over again. And like you get stuck in this like repetitive cycle of like when something like traumatic or something like really sad happens to you. Autistic rumination is it's a shock to your brain. Like you have to somehow like or in some way like make sense of it. And the unfortunate part is there's just some situations that you can experience in life that you will never be able to piece together. But the other frustrating component to it is that you're gonna like work your hardest to. After that relationship, my sister had to have conversations with me because like every single day I would just sit there and I would just like ruminate over various angles of the relationship. and overall it wasn't healthy. But that's when you get caught up in a autistic rumination, it's just something that automatically happens like in your brain. The same thing like happened, like when I went homeless, and like when I was around like 18 or 19, I would, because at that point in time, like I didn't have any income. So like my father had actually went into a nursing home. And as I had stated, like I had lost my mom. So going homeless like multiple times, because at that point I still hadn't had my diagnosis. So no one knew that I was on the spectrum. But I would get stuck in these thought loops of like, this is it, like this isn't gonna get better, and like nothing's gonna change, like, and I couldn't seem to like break free of this, and it would be bad, because like, so I would, the disappointment of the current situation, the disappointment of going into the shelter, the uncertainty, like all that would just like flood my brain and like produce these thoughts of, I don't know if stuff is going to change, because there was also, in the moment, there was nothing like materializing that was positive that could also like spark my brain, that would be like, hey, like this is something positive. Like this is something that you can work with, that can build towards like more positive thoughts. So when you don't have that too, and you are like stuck in this like autistic rumination and thought loop, your brain just automatically goes to the negative. But this is something I want to overall share today, because it's really important. I don't think this is a topic of autism that is talked about enough. It's when you experience it, it's something that it's something that you have to tread lightly on, because depending on how you deal with it, like if you deal with it in a healthy manner, you can progress forward. But if it's not dealt with in a healthy manner, it could actually push you into burnout. And that's why I really want to talk about this today. Thank you.